Hey YouTube, it's Manny. So as some of you know, I've been redoing a stream room right here, right? So the next thing I have to do is I actually have to put networking in. So currently we have, my whole house is Cat5e, right? So this is, I moved in here about 2005, so it's Cat5e. We have fiber going to the house, so we only get 75 up, 75 down, so Cat5e is fine. But we're going to, I'm gonna upgrade to Cat6 because at some point I might go gig, and at that point I need to upgrade everything. So I might as well do it now. I'm probably not going to upgrade everything. I'll at least upgrade, I'll put all the hardware in and stuff and slowly switch out the patch lines. So first, let's take a look at the current setup. All right, guys, so here is where my networking is set up right now. You can see we got an old managed switch. This is dirty as all hell. We got an old managed, unmanaged switch right there, a D-Link. And then we got our patch panel up there. So we're gonna replace all this. We're actually gonna mount, I got a rack for it, a 6U rack we're gonna put up here and make it look all nice and neat. And I'm gonna get some stuff so hopefully it doesn't get too dusty and dirty like that as it is right now. Let's go look at what we got. All right, guys, so let's go through quickly what we have, what we've purchased. So this is a 24-port Cat6 shielded 1U patch panel. The reason I bought the shielded one is simply because it has a cover on top, so you see all the dust in there. It's a furnace room. This is actually going to keep a cover over it. I'm not going to be using the shielded part, but if we ever went to Cat6A, we could do it. So that this is, what is this? Oh, this is a rack mountable surge protector. So a rack mountable for power. This is the new switch we're going with. This is also a unmanaged switch. This is a Cisco SG112 compact. It's a 24-port Giga switch. It is rack mountable, so it's small, but there's brackets on the sides that you can do it, mount it. These are basically just wall outlets for 2 Keystones, so that's what those are. In here we have, these are actually for patch panels. So these are your Cat6 connectors, your RJ45s, and these are just, I don't know what they're called, but they go on the ends, slide into there to make them more stable for the sleeves. And then in here, we have, basically, I haven't worked on this stuff in 16 years, so this just came with a pair of pliers. But we basically bought a tool and a tester, Cat6 tester, or actually RJ45 tester. And basically just a tool to make and crimp lines for patch panels. Over here we actually have some, these are actually the Keystones. I think they're called Keystones, right? Yeah, Keystone Jacks. So that's what these are. These are going to go into the wall plates. And then here we have just blanks. So if I only, like those are two port plates. So if I only need 1 port in the plate, I have blanks to put in for the 2nd port. So it's not just a hole. This is the actual rack. It's a 6U rack. Good, got this from Amazon, pretty good. And then we got true cable, Cat6 cable, blue color. And this is what we're gonna be running through the house. And that's it. We're gonna start in the other room. We're going to actually, I gotta make sure that I can mount the rack, make sure that the wall studs aren't, I think they're not, typically they're 16 inches on center, and that's what the racks are made for. That wall is not, so I gotta make sure it's all set, make sure I have the 2x4s in the right spot so that I can actually mount it. All right, so let me go do that, and then I'll keep you guys up to date as we're doing the work. See you in a bit. All right, so I was gonna go in there first. I'm actually gonna open up the rack, might as well unbox it with you guys, just see what it looks like. So flip it up top, get a handy dandy little knife. All right. All right, just open this up to see what it looks like, and then make sure I get measurements, and that way I know where to put the studs. All right, so let's pull this out. Here's a manual piece of paper. I don't know, actually. All right, so let's pull this out. Pull that over there. Okay. And then, all righty, nice. All right. So this, you can actually see you can see it right here. So there's six U's. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I did read it comes with enough screws for 3 U's. So that's gonna stink. But I actually only have 3 things to put in there right now anyway, so that's not too bad for me. But I can see if someone actually had like a bunch of stuff to put in here, it might be an issue. Wouldn't be an issue if you had like large like 2U servers and stuff like that, but I do not. So you can see where we got to wall mount it right here and here. There's going to be 4 spots, so I got to make sure the studs line up there, or there's a stud behind it, so it actually is nice and secure. So that's what that looks like. Let's see what we got for screws. So that's the top. The brace goes on top, and the patch panel will go on top. Then the switch, and at the very bottom, I'm going to put the power supply. The power brick, or whatever you want to call it. All right, pack this up well. All right, it's a bunch of screws in here. Let's see what we got. So here's some wall mounting stuff. If you're gonna I wouldn't put this in drywall. I'd make sure I had studs behind it. But here's the screws. I'll probably use bigger screws too, to be honest, just to make sure with the weight. Those are probably plenty fine. I imagine they've tested them, but who knows? Let's see how many screws we get in here. All right. So if we separate this out, let's see how much we got. Yeah, it doesn't look like we've very many. So if you have 4 per. Yep, you have enough for 3 U's. Yep, they give you enough screws for 3 U's. So if you want to mount more with this, you're gonna have to buy another pack of screws, and they probably come in packs of 25 or something ridiculous like that, even if you only need 3 more. So, all right, so we know what we got to mount now. So I'm gonna go measure, see it up, and then I'll bring you in there when I stop mounting it. All right, now I'll see you over there. All right, guys, so as you can see, I moved the patch panel off, I unhooked that, and I put up a couple 2x4s and some strapping so that I had to put the strapping on because this board was, these are 2x3 wall. This is a 2x3 wall, right? This is a 2x3 wall, and then this is a 2x4 right here. So I had to put the strapping to pull it out a little bit. I got the screws all lined up, I got it all centered, so let's just go ahead and actually mount the panel now. And I gotta be careful because I have to get these wires out of the way. So safety goggles on, boys. And then we're gonna go up here, take these, put them around, because I don't want to unhook the network yet. Now this just fits back here like this, and then you can drop it in. I lined the screws up already, so we're good there. And I think if we come back here, can you see back behind me here? If we just up here like that, right? I might be able to see, but I'm just tightening these screws up now. Securing it into the wall. You guys might not be able to see around me, but it is a tight space. The GoPro would be good here. And then one more screw. Now I did end up just using the screws that came with the, I just used the screws that came with the rack. All right, so that's in there, man. So now I could conceivably just mount, I can't do it. I gotta move this all over again. So I could conceivably mount this back in here, but I'm not going to. So if I move this closer, this could be mounted like right in here, right? So there you go, there's your mount. Unfortunately, it sticks out pretty far. I wonder if I should have put it on the other wall facing out. So that's it for now. Put that up here. All right, so you can get a closer look at it. So I know it's tough to look at that, but so it's just got the 4 mounting screws in the back, holding it all up. So it's pretty good. So we're ready to put in our stuff now and go from there. All right, so we have our 10 lines run. So some are actually hooked up already, just hanging there because I screwed some other stuff up, so I had to hook them up. So now we're gonna get our patch panel. That's gonna be the next thing we hook up into here. So let's go in the other room, unbox the patch panel, and see what it looks like. All right, so this is a 24-port Cat6A shielded 1U patch panel from TrendNet. Now, I only bought the shielded one simply because I wanted some cover over. You guys saw how dusty it was in there. I wanted to cover over the plug. So you get some information in there, and then you got your packet of screws. The box is over there. And here is our patch panel. So it's a 24-port. That's what it looks like. It's got a cover, as I said. And this, how does this come off? There's no screw, so it just comes out. So that's a cover. I just wanted something to cover it up. I didn't want it just completely exposed like that, sitting up here, collecting dust and stuff. I figured it'd be nicer to have at least something to cover it. Now this is grounded. So it does have a grounded cable. We're not going to be using this. This is going to be tucked back here. And we're going to make sure we wire this the same way we wired everything else for A version. So, you know, I got to make sure orange and green are in the right order. So, all right, so we're going to go into the room. I'm going to wire everything up before I actually install it in the panel because it just makes it easier. So we'll go in there and see how it works out. All right, guys. Hey, so here we are in the networking room, or the furnace room, but with the networking room now. I have all my cables over here. I have them all just about cut to the same length. They're all labeled. I have two that are probably a little longer. I'll have to do them afterwards. These ones are actually connected right now to my router and back down to the existing network. I messed something up, so I had to do that real quick. But I have 8 others, so it's 10 total. Now I have to actually hook them up into the patch panel, which you see there. And I'll walk you through real quickly one of them, and then I'll show you. Then I'll quickly go through it, speed it through that way. All right. So all right, let's get started. All right. So I have 2 outlets, or 2 outlets at in each room location, right? So I can see them. This is stream room 1 and then stream room 2. So how I did it was the top one is always 1 and the bottom one is 2. So that's how we're going to do it. So first thing I'm going to do is strip this line, and actually I gotta move this down a little bit, but we're just going to take this off for now, and I'll relabel it in a minute. So it's kind of in the way. I tried to put the labels on a little further down than that. So it's actually, this is no harder than doing the jacks themselves, because all we got to do is just strip the main line, the blue line off of it, and then go from there. So we just grit our stripper. It's also our punch down. This is what we're going to use to punch down as well. So we're going to strip off. We're not going to strip too much off because we don't want too much exposed. That should be good. So I'm going to do about, looks like, I think about 1 inch, right? Is it about 1 inch? All right. Now we're going to untwist them. And just like the cable jack, I'm going to try to make sure you guys can see what I'm doing here. So we're pulling these all out, right? And just like the jacks, we're going to actually cut off this little chunk in the middle. This is to keep it stable. There we go. And we could clip off this little line too. There we go. All right. So there we go. Now, remember, we're going to do this based off, let me show you I've showed you this before, and I'll have it on, I'll try to do a nice one on screen, right? So this is the chart, right? So you have A, it might be backwards, and B. Right, so we're following A. A is the standard one. So you have green, white, green, orange, white, blue, blue, white, orange, brown, white, and brown. So we're going to follow this. This is more of this. A is the standard. B is another way of doing it. Networks. It just it's orange and green is switched. I'd recommend doing A. From what I know is A is the preferred method, or the more standard method. So now, once we have these separated, let me get it down here. All right, so as we said earlier, right, we're following A. And the nice thing about this one is you can actually see right down here, you have A, B, B, and A. So we're doing A, and you can see, like, first of all, look at, see the blues are always the same and the browns are always the same no matter what. But you can see the opposite A and B are swapped. So this is a good little chart to have to know which line is going to go where. So we're following A, so green, white, green. So we're going to put it in kind of like this. And you can kind of see how, you know, I got them in a little bit in order. Hopefully I've made these long enough. We're going to use our punch down to make sure that we get it in there. All right, let me straighten these out a little bit. Hopefully I stripped enough off for like the top ones. So let's do the bottom first. We'll stick this guy in here. All right, and then you're going to punch these down afterwards. But first I want to just make sure I got enough room for them. We're going to want to cut the excess off too. You don't want things hanging out. It's never good, because if things touch, that's when you get in trouble. All right, looks like I did them long enough. All right, and the same thing on this side. So blue, and blue, white. I know my fingers are in the way, I apologize. I'll show you in a second. Blue, white, then brown, then brown. Make sure I don't do this in the wrong order. This is actually one of the easier things to do. Making patch cables is tough. Doing this is not that hard. All right, so you can see everything's in there, right? We have our blue, blue, white, brown, brown, white. Although it doesn't look that brown, but it is brown. Then you have orange, orange, white, green, and green, white. All right, so now I'm gonna lift it up a little higher, and then we're gonna punch down, okay? So I wanna make sure, let me turn this around. All right, for some reason that ended, and you guys didn't get to see me punch down. So essentially all we're doing is, we're basically punching down here until you hear a click. We're doing each one, and you wanna hear a punch down and a click. Then once that's all done, what we did was, and I'm sorry it didn't get recorded, is we're just cutting off the end so that everything's in there. All right, so the last thing we're gonna do, and actually we're not gonna do this quite yet, but since this is a shielded one, it comes with these clips. These actually go over here, would cover the shielding, and this is how the line actually gets grounded to this. You can see where it actually bolts in here. I'm gonna use these anyway, just to secure the line down, give it a little more security. It gets screwed in like that, and this, obviously it's over the side a little bit, but you can see where it goes in right like that. So it's gonna go in like that, and the second line is gonna go through there as well. Now, it also came with zip ties. I didn't show you that, guys, and they zip tie around this right here. We're gonna do that as well. So we're gonna zip tie them right like that. All right, so I'm gonna speed through this and show you guys the end results. But that's essentially, that's all I'm doing right now. And once you put one in, make sure you label the front. So label the front with what that line is. So you can see a little spot right there, label it. Use like a nice good Sharpie or something like that, so that way you know what it is. I actually ripped the tag off this one. I'm actually gonna put a tag back on. Always have tags on the back, because if this ever got disconnected and hung down the back, how do you know which one it goes to, right? So always label it. For example, like I think I showed you earlier, like Stream Room 2, this one's gonna go next to it here. And we're gonna do that now. All right, I'll show you I'll show you the results when we're all done. All right, and back in a minute. All right, guys, so there it is. It's all done up, all 10 lines. You got 2 for each room. As I said, these are actually for the shielding. So this is if you're gonna ground it using the grounding wire, because you can see the grounding wire is this metal plate, and these all then go to the metal plate. So typically what happens is you peel back the metal shielding, and it goes under here, and that's what holds us down. I just use an extra hold down plus the zip ties. I just think it's gonna be a little nicer that way. All right, so now it's lined up. What we're gonna use is our actual tester. There we go. So this tester, I have it plugged in already at one end. We're gonna turn it on. And so nothing's going on. We're gonna see it walk down as soon as we plug it in. I have it plugged into Office 2. So this one. All right, now if everything works out right, we'll see it walk down the line. So this is the tester. So simply it's gonna walk down each one. You can see the green light going down, that every connector is working out right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, now let's look at the other side. It's actually right over here. It's on the other side of here. Just to verify that I don't have anything crossed over or hooked up incorrectly, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There you go. Everything's hooked up right now. That's good to go. So we can unhook this and then go back over here, unhook this. And now we're gonna mount it, we can mount the patch panel back into the thing. First we're gonna do is take our cover, and I know there's not a lot of room to see in here. Which way does this go on? I think it was this way. So we're gonna actually mount it here. See, I don't know if you guys can see like this. All right, so we're just gonna try to get it back on. This goes on the outside. It doesn't get screwed in or anything. It's just kind of a basic cover. And this goes in here. All right, and then this goes up like that. All right, so now it's back on. Like I said, I just wanted to cover. I just have the grounding cable loose back here, not a big deal. All right, so now once that's done, now we're gonna mount it in the rack. So now to mount it up in the rack, we're gonna mount it in the top one, the top U right up here, right? So this is a 1U. So if we hold this up here, let's see which ones it's gonna mount on. So you can see where it mounts on the top and the bottom one. So we gotta make sure we put bolts, or I should say nuts, behind this. So we're gonna take these little nuts, and we're gonna stick it on the back side of this. Here, and then you just push down, That snaps in. I might need a screwdriver, 2 hands. There we go. So that's one in. I gotta put one in this hole now. All right, so those are all in there. Now we can actually screw it in. Screw it up. All right, so let's see if I can. All right, guys, took a little bit. I definitely need 2 hands, but there it is up there. This is gonna be going away. So they're all hanging loose here. I actually plan on getting this up higher on the, I don't know if you can see, I'm gonna mount this up here so that I just have all the cords just kind of coming into the bottom, just like that, but I want that up higher. So I'm gonna mount that up a little higher. You can see where I have it actually Velcroed together. We'll get up that higher. All right, next step is actually to throw the switch in here. Now, all right, hey, so here we are. We got the patch panel all set up, everything patched, everything looks good. Next step is to install our switch that we can then patch everything into and get the internet going everywhere, setting up the network. So what I picked up was Cisco SG 112-24. So the 24 is obviously how many ports it is. It's a compact switch, but it has, it's supposed to have connectors so that I can actually mount it in the rack. So let's open it up and see what we got. I have not opened this one up yet, so I'm not sure what's in here. Now, as far as why I picked this switch, it's a decent switch. I'm familiar with Cisco. I used to work at Cisco a long time ago. And I know they're really decent, so that's the reason I went with it. So we got our power adapter. All right, here's our rack mountable stuff for the rack, mounting to the rack. Obviously we got some manuals and some warranty information. And then we actually got the switch itself. And yes, it is compact. So this would be good if you weren't rack mounting it too. It's actually not, it's a 24 port switch, but it's not too big. So we'll actually have to get this set up and install it in the rack. So I don't think it's too much of this. I'm actually gonna go ahead and put the mounting hardware on. And then you'll join me when I'm back in the room and I'll have it up in the rack, all right? See you then. Give me a second. For you, it'll be 1 second. All right, guys, here we are ready to mount up the new switch. And something I do want to show you that I just discovered with this rack is how you put these bolts in. So I first put them in up and down like this, right, for the top ones. But once one is in, it's really hard to get this one in up underneath. So I had to unloosen this, put it in. I discovered over here, it's actually just easier putting them left to right, then you don't have to worry about interfering with the one above. So I think that's the way to go, left to right on these instead of up and down. Even though they fit up and down, once something's racked up here, it's hard to get that one in. So that's just a little tip here. Now you can see the router is actually, the switch. I have the rack mounts on, plates on, there's 4 screws for each one. I do have the power supply plugged in. We actually do have a rack mountable surge protector we'll put on next. But right now, let's see about rack mount. Let's see what we got. Let's see if I can tilt that up there and you guys can watch me a little bit. There we go. All right, and the bolts are in my pocket. Silver bolts. Like a silver bullet. All right, so we're just gonna put this up here top, right underneath the switch. I'm gonna hand screw in the first one so that, you know, these aren't gonna fit. I have to go get the ones for the actual, that were for this. All right, so we're back. Now, I think I mentioned this earlier that unfortunately with this rack kit, it only comes in with set for 3 U's. So you can rack mount 3 items and that's it on this. So if you want to rack anything else, you're going to have to buy another kit of these. So I only have 4 more of these, which are the bolts, which I will use on the bottom here. I'll just put them in here now. This is for the power supply. So I might as well put those in there now because we're going to be doing that next because we need power for the switch. Now I do have an outlet right here I can just plug it into. Right now my light is plugged into that. My halogen light that I need back here because there is no light back here. And I got one more, there it is. Black on black has not helped me find these things over here. All right, so I'm mounting the surge protector lower. So I don't know if it's shielded or whatever, but I'll mount it as low as I can from the actual items themselves. All right, so now We're going to rack mount with the actual screws that came with a rack mounting kit, and they should fit in the, make sure we turn this the right way. This doesn't really matter, but this way you can really read the name. All right, so now if we take a look at it, it's not too bad. It would be cool if this was a wide and it was like, you know, 24 port straight across and I could go straight down. That, you know what, this is a decent switch, so I stuck with it and we'll go with that one, right? Because now I'm just gonna bring it over here, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, right? It would have been cool going straight down. You have tiny little, I could have like a, I don't know, 4 or 5 inch Ethernet cable, but that's all right. We'll just run them across, not a big deal. It'll still look really nice. Next thing, let's get the surge protector up. We'll mount the surge protector. I'll go unbox it in the other room and be right back with you guys. All right, so here is CyberPower's surge protector. I don't think it's a really brand or whatever, I don't know. It's the one I got. There's not a lot in there, so not much to this. The rack mountable surge protector. Let's open it up. Now there's ports on the front and ports on the back. I'll take out the warranty and keep that just in case. So essentially we got ports on the front, power, grounded, surge, right? Has a reset button. This is obviously how you turn it on and off. So you get a switch, you can turn it on and off, and it covers someone to bump it. But which is nice is in the back, this is where I'm gonna plug my switch in. Plug it in the back, it's hidden, but yet in the front. Now, if you need things just working on, you can plug them in, right? So, all right, let's go rack mount this one. All right, so here we're back at it. All right, so here we are back at it again. We got the power strip. First thing I'm gonna do is actually plug in my switch to the back. So I'll have to wrap this stuff up afterwards. But for now, I'm just gonna plug it in, it's gonna hang. I still gotta fix the Ethernet too as well. I know I keep going in and out of things. All right, so we're just gonna plug it into one of these back here just so I don't have to worry about plugging it in afterwards. That's plugged in, it's gonna hang. Remember, we're gonna mount this on the bottom, make sure it's facing straight up. Actually, let me undo this one. There's a whole bunch of cords here, but it's gonna be too heavy hanging. So this is a long cable. In case you wanted to really, I don't know how far it is actually. I really only need like a 6-inch cable. I mean, the power's right there. I know both are taken right now, but I'll unplug the other previous switch. Leave my light on. All right, so there it is. It's a really long, it's probably a 6-foot cable, if not longer. Oh, dropped all my screws. That was not good. All right, definitely longer than 6 feet. All right, for now, we're just gonna, well, let me put this up here. All right, so now we're gonna mount this on the bottom. All these over here, put my screwdriver someplace where I can grab everything. I always end up putting stuff in places where I can't reach, and that is not helpful. All right, so now we're just gonna mount this up here. All right, that's in there. Let's plug her in. It's a lot of cable. Actually, let's zip tie this up a little bit. Not zip tie it. I'll just wire tie it up, and then make sure the weight is on, not on the plug. That's good. We're gonna hang it like that for now. I'll probably tuck it up behind at some point, but just so this whole thing isn't hanging down on the floor. I'll probably zip tie to the back of the rack. All right, so which one is the bottom one? All right, let's unplug the old switch. All right, that's unplugged. Now we're just gonna plug this sucker in. All right, ooh, sparks. All right, power, grounded, surge protected. We got yellow, green, and red lights. Ready? All right, so you got power, grounded, and surge, right? Our switch has power now, which is good. Now we just gotta plug some Ethernets in and get it going. All All right, so there it is, all plugged in. Like I said, these are temporary cables until I make my patch cables, my Cat6 patch cables. Everything else is Cat6, Cat6 patch panel, Cat6 switch. This is not Cat6, but it doesn't matter. It plugs in anything. So the entire in-home network is now Cat6. Like I said, I have to fix these up. There are some things like this goes to my solar panel. I'm going to reroute this around. And then there's a couple goofy ones like this one is the actual Ethernet that goes in the house. It actually goes up here, and that's actually Cat5e cable. So if I actually do want to go gigabit, the Verizon's gonna have to come out and replace that for me anyway. So I'm gonna route that. I'm gonna route it all the way around. I'm gonna make it nicer and neater. And like these cables are gonna be, see, like these ones. These ones aren't bad size. I just need Cat6 ones. I'm gonna make them myself. I got some new RJ45 adapters coming in with load cables or what are they called? To make it easier to make them. So I'll take care of all this. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this yet. I'm not sure if I'm just gonna route it around, make it look neater. It's kind of like they give me a ton of cable, so I'll figure something out. All right, guys, so that's it. That is my new network. So hey, hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please hit that like button below and leave a comment if you have any questions. I'll do my best to answer them. If you'd like to see more content like this, then please hit that smash button. You can also hit me up when I'm live over on Twitch at twitch.tv/Maniocrity, where I stream Friday, Saturday, and Sunday evenings starting at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, guys, later. Peace.